I have to say that I found this video extremely disturbing. It pretty much encapsulates why it is that religion is at the root of many of humanity's problems, both today and throughout history. The question is asked, what kind of believer are you? Are you a non-believer, true believer, or make-believer? And of course the punchline is that only you, Jesus Freak 777, have your eyes opened, and that even people who believe in a God, or even in Jesus, but don't believe in exactly the way that you do, they aren't believers. They aren't saved. But then again, how could they be if their heretical beliefs differ from yours? There's no doubt at all in your mind, absolute, unquestioning certainty that you are right, and that anybody who holds a differing position is wrong. And in fact, not just wrong, but actually deserving of a horrifying, merciless fate of endless torture and suffering. Exactly how much hatred must you hold for your fellow human beings if you think that they deserve to suffer even for a moment, let alone the whole of eternity? And this talk of devils and demons as things that really exist outside of Buffy the Vampire Slayer or a Dennis Wheatley novel, well, that is something that nobody in the 20th century should be doing. I mean, do you believe in witches as well, and zombies and vampires and Christmas elves? The position that you outline, that only faith will save you, is terrifying. It's the abandonment of all reason. Lack of evidence, and even contradictory evidence, all of this means absolutely nothing in the light of your fanatical conviction that if you believe something, if you believe it strongly enough, that somehow makes it true. There's no checkpoint there, there's no little questioning voice that makes you think, hang on a sec, this doesn't make any sense, this isn't right. And it's the mindset that allows people to picket funerals of soldiers and to blow up abortion clinics and feel that their actions are justified. It's what makes them strap bombs to themselves and detonate them in crowded public areas. It's what makes them hijack planes and fly them into buildings. It's what makes them drink poison in a mass suicide. Nothing is too extreme. There's no step that's one too far. And so the question that I have for you is, what would you do for Jesus, Anthony? Would you be prepared to kill your next door neighbour if Jesus or your God asked you to? What about your child? Abraham was prepared to do just that. Abraham, who was, according to your scripture, a favourite of your God and a righteous man. He was prepared to cut his son's throat because he thought that was what his God wanted. Is your faith strong enough for that? We can only hope that it isn't. What's so scary is that you and people like you just don't see how insane this level of dogmatic, blinkered, unquestioning belief is. How it impairs your judgment. And it's not just that you can hold two totally incompatible views, like that of a God who is merciful and loving, and yet would send most people to hell for the most minor of transgressions, and who allows all this suffering in the world. You're inconsistent with yourself. Take a look at this. This is one of your videos posted a month ago. It's the one where you talk about why you don't want anything to do with Yoke Up. Look here at what you wrote. That you don't want anything to do with Jeff because he accuses you of being unsaved. He accuses you of being a servant of Satan. That he lives in a fantasy world where he is the sole arbiter of who is saved and unsaved. Does that remind you of anyone?